This tutorial uses a transparent model to better demonstrate the internal structure of brake lever and brake caliper. And you can clearly see where the bubbles go when bleeding. Easy for you to understand the effect of each step. Let's see the overall bleeding process. This method is mainly based on the continuity of brake oil newly siring to the brake, which will expel air and old oil and prevent air from wiggling back and forth in the brake. Here's the main steps in detail. We use a 1:1 scale transparent brake lever and brake caliper for demonstration. They are close together for the convenience of video recording. There's no need to be so close when actually bleeding. Step 1. Adjust the brake's position. Loosen the bolt on the top of the lever. Loosen the screw to rotate the brake handle. Adjust the brake lever to make the bleed port faces straight up. Slightly tilt the bicycle body and raise the position of the bleed port. You can see the internal structure of the brake through the transparent case. Siringing angle like this is conducive to the discharge of air from left to right. Step 2. Install the funnel. Choose a proper connector and install the rubber washer. Install the connector and cap it. Insert the plunger. Unscrew the bleed port screw. Install the funnel. Step 3. Unscrew 2 fixed bleed port screw of the brake caliper. Take away the caliper. Remove the brake pads and spreader clip from the caliper and insert the appropriate bleed block. Repeatedly toggle bleed block left to right in order to make the gap opens to the maximum. Make sure the pistons on both sides are fully reset. Straighten and draw out the bolt. There are also brake calipers that are fixed by screws. All you need to do is to pull out the screw. Pull out the brake pads. This step is to ensure the pads will not be contaminated by oil. Lock the pistons to prevent them from falling when siringing. Step 4. Assemble the syringe. Select a suitable connector including a syringe clamp and hose. Extract 20 ml oil and remove the air in the hose thoroughly. Unscrew the bleed port screw. Install the syringe. Step 5. Unplug the plunger and begin bleeding. Newly siringed oil can be clearly seen pushing old oil and air outwards. The old oil and air in the brake are getting less and less. Do not push the syringe completely to prevent residual air from being added to the brake. Fasten the clip and insert the plunger. Remove the funnel and pour out the old oil inside. Reinstall the funnel and remove the plunger. Remove the syringe and refill it with 20 ml brake oil. Remove the air from the syringe. Put back the syringe and unclip. Second injection of brake fluid. Change the angle while siringing left and right tilt plus rotation. The internal structure cannot be seen when bleeding a real brake. Changing the angle can prevent air from remaining inside. Buckle the clip and remove the syringe. Use a syringe to draw out the brake oil in the funnel. Asterisk: the secondly drained brake oil can be reused. Remove the air from the syringe. Reinstall the syringe and refill brake oil. Change the angle while sirening. Repeat the above action 2 to 3 times for better effect. Summary: this method utilizes continuous sirening of brake fluid to push out the old oil and air in the brake. While sirening, it is necessary to change the angle of the brake handle to prevent air from collecting inside. Insert the plunger and remove the connector. The bleed port should be kept flat. Few drops of oil are needed to fully fill the port. Tighten the screws with a wrench and wipe off any spilled brake oil. Remove the plunger and pump the brake a few times to test the feel. It feels solid, which means the bleeding process comes to success. Install the plug and remove the funnel. Install the original screws. Bleeding complete. Install the brake pads, adjust the gap between them, and you can enjoy using the brake. Note: be sure to adjust the gap between the pads, otherwise there will be a situation where the feel is solid but the braking effect is poor. Now the bleed is successfully done. Finally, the explanation for some detail. Explain why the levers should be adjusted to a proper angle compared to the ground. Wrong angle: the bleed port isn't at the highest place. Air will collect at a high place and cannot be removed. Right angle: the bleed port faces straight up at highest place. Then slowly do the syringe process and air will be clearly removed. Here's some typical bleed port. Brake caliper bleed port has many types. Here are some commonly used connection method. This is the bleed port. Unplug the cap and place the tube directly onto the bleed port, then loosen the screw by half a turn to begin bleeding. First, the red one is the bleed port while the green one is the control switch. Insert the hose first, then loosen half a turn of the screw to fill the oil. This connection method is like installing a water pipe on a faucet. Open the valve after installing the water pipe. Second, unscrew it, then install a suitable connector. Third, unscrew it, then install a suitable connector. Choose the method that suits your brake type best. The tutorial about brake bleed is now over. Let's have a try.